Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. Today's video, I thought it was so fitting to film today outside of the Guggenheim Library here at my college, Monmouth University. I thought this was perfect to film outside the library because we are talking all about books and the whole aesthetic around books and reading that's been happening for the past couple of years, and I wrote an entire essay on this, so I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Maybe this was a bad idea because it is kind of cold out. It is colder than I expected. Does such a thing as the fatal flaw, that showy dark crack running down the middle of life, exist outside of literature? I used to think it didn't. Now I think it does. And I think mine is this: a morbid longing for the picturesque at all costs. That is a quote from The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And it's definitely going to be way windier than I thought it would be, but we're going to make do. I believe this quote describes our current society extremely well. People are obsessed with looks and aesthetics these days, so much so that this fatal flaw has crept into the literature that we read. Reading has now become an aesthetic thing and more than an intellectual thing. This raises a critical question. Has reading itself become too much about the appearance rather than the substance? While aesthetic properly means an appreciation for beauty, it now represents a cultural shift toward valuing the look of reading over its intellectual pursuit. Where reading was once hidden for fear of being seen as nerdy, it has become a part of popular identity. Yet, as Jasmine Rusady notes in her article, The Rise of the Reader Aesthetic, BookTok and Book Tropes, this new popularity brings pressures and even new stigmas. The act of reading is less about savoring books and more about keeping up with trends, redefining what it means to be a reader. Now, in my own experience, I've always been a book lover. I have been reading books ever since I've learned how to read. I've read the classics and numerous romance novels, sci-fi and fantasy, and I've loved them all. I was the girl obsessed with the Twilight books and the girl who quoted Edgar Allan Poe at the dinner table. I never tried to hide my love of books. I embraced it. I first learned of this reader aesthetic back in 2019 to 2020 around the COVID-19 pandemic while constantly scrolling through Pinterest. At first I was very overjoyed to have felt as seen as an aesthetic on social media. But as the years passed, I began to see more negative aspects of this aesthetic. Following the 2020 pandemic, reading popularity on the internet vastly increased. The rise of BookTube, BookTok, and bookstagram began. Even though these subcategories of popular social media platforms did exist before the pandemic, they really skyrocketed right after the pandemic. More and more people were recommending books online and making bookish content in order to pass the time and find something more positive to focus on other than the state of the world, myself included. I started my YouTube channel during the pandemic. This is when the word aesthetic really became popular. The aesthetics of dark academia, cottagecore, and cozy fantasy is not only an aesthetic on social media, but is now being used to market books and new upcoming authors. In The Rise of the Reading Aesthetic and Lack of Diversity in the BookTok Era blog post by 24-hour YA blog explains this perfectly. They call this the book, see if I can say this right, book aestheticization. Book aestheticization. They quote, "I describe this as readers on social media posting and sharing content that captures the quote identity or tasteful image of what it is like to be a reader, bookworm, or an avid consumer of books within the online space." End quote. Now, unfortunately, the reader aesthetic has become less about the love of literature and more about the way it looks to be a reader. People want to look and feel intellectual. So instead of actually reading the classic literature or books in general, they become more of an accessory. I have seen that Jane Austen's books and the Bronte books are now being sold at clothing stores, emphasizing the fact that they are becoming an accessory. Kern, author of When Reading Becomes Performative, Society Suffers, The Love of Books Becoming Superficial, voices their opinion as this, Quote, as much as I appreciate this shift in perception, much of it feels aesthetic instead of intellectual. We have arrived at a place where appearing to be a reader has overshadowed reading. They continue to talk about the rise in popularity of this concept on social media and other platforms. Quote, when something becomes popular, it gets commoditized. People start envisioning it as an opportunity rather than an experience. Reading should always be an experience, something intimate, transformative, something that acts as a mirror or a window to your world and new ones, end quote. Now, all of this being said, I too have fallen prey to this reading aesthetic. I've been a reader long before the internet even thought of this aesthetic, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't like it. I actually love these aesthetics of reading and dark academia. However, I do believe they become a problem if people are reading only for show or matching these aesthetics just to appear intellectual. Being a booktuber myself and reviewing books online for 5 years now, I have partaken in these trends. I love dark academia and have described books as having a insert your aesthetic here feel to them. I have not forgotten the importance of my love for literature and the love of great books. All reading is aesthetic. All reading is good reading, whether it's Shakespeare or the trashy romance novels you get at the airport. I've been there. I believe books and reading will never go out of style. Some more positive and negative ideas may come from that, but that is what reading is all about. To provoke new ideas. This could be new internet trends to get lost in, or new ideas that would change the world for the better. I leave you with a quote from the quintessential dark academia film, The Dead Poets Society. Quote, no matter what anyone tells you, words and ideas can change the world. And that has been my take on the whole aesthetic and book aesthetic, reading aesthetic that has been going on the internet so far. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. And if you believe that the reader aesthetic is more problematic than good, or if you believe that reading is becoming more of a performative thing, please do let me know. And yeah, that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you have not already, and click the notification bell so you're notified every single time that I upload. I upload every single week. And if you want to find me anywhere else for more bookish content like this, you can find me on Instagram, GoodReads, Pinterest, and in between the pages of a book. And as always, remember to be the Captain Jack Sparrow of your story, and may your compass lead you to amazing things. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.